trying to die just before I landed on tomato. Singing all my songs on the pilo. I was trying to pave the way, but they didn't tell me it was potholes. America ain't dreaming, it was human when the first definition came from black. We all know we're black. Everybody down the culture, they be black. The demons.
Hold on. You're talking way too much context. Think about girls or something. I'm not telling you to rap, not to rap how you rap, but make some vibes.
Sounded like a real anthem. Shawty saw my wallet, now she think I answer. Whoa, telling me she wanted me to hammer. Trying to get saved, baby, I am not the answer. No, I can never trick. Unless the bitch is my bitch with a kiss on my lips like, I am not a pimp with a limp. I'm a man with a gift, and I'm doing my shit like, tell them other nips, I'm the nip. I'm the man in the city, and my bank account bigger, and my body count bigger. That's without a doubt. I'm 100 steps ahead, that's a lot of mouth. That's a lot of clout. What you all about? What your dollar amount? You a boy out, I'm a big dog. Tell the truth, I don't get charged. Shit, time to corny mother. Turn this shit off, bro. I can't rap how everybody else rap, bro. Everybody talking about corny ass, bro. Oh God, I don't want to rap about that corny ass shit.
I pay my dues affiliated to this paper. I need freedom for my family now. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping out just to unfamiliar coordinates. Hopped off the porch like I can touch the sky. Man, that's not one trillion. That isn't talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing. I'm so wavy, I can change the time. My intuition says the hatred in your ways. You imitated forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs cloud
Yo. I think most of the people, they don't even get halfway through. I think like hard enduro, for all of you guys who are listening to it, it's just like short explaining, like it's riding your dirt bike through the gnarliest terrain what you can find. So like you have to imagine like rocks which are like 2 meters high, like uphills which are like more sometimes than like 80 degrees steep, downhills where you like have to more or less push your bike down because it's like too steep to like ride it down. Like the good thing is gravity always brings you down, so it's like pretty nice, but like in the uphills it's like pretty difficult. But yeah, like Red Bull Earth Radio is one of the hardest races in the world, and there's like 2,000 starters. At the end it's like 500 who is going into the finals, and I think like average like 15 people make it 15 people make it into the finish after 4 hours. Everybody is like who is into motorsport should come to Red Bull Earth Radio for one day, just even just to see this festival vibe, because it's pretty cool.
So let's talk about the sport as a whole. Let's break it down. So for somebody that has never come across hard enduro before, tell me what the sport is in your words.
I think hard enduro is really riding a dirt bike through the gnarliest terrain. Like what we can find. Like it can be rocks, it can be like a dirt, it can be even like from dirt to asphalt, it can be like uphills, downhills. You have to think through the mountains. I would like really say like a really cool race or like a really good day of riding hard enduro would be go out and go behind your house, ride into the trees and see where you end up, you know? Like I think this is more or less really being out there and like searching for the hardest path what you can find, and super demanding sport, and it's quite nice in our sport because we have quite a lot of different race formats, so it's never the same at every race, which makes it a bit difficult maybe for the viewers and for the outside to understand sometimes. But for us as riders, it's maybe not too bad, because we can have a race which can be 2 hours long, but can have also a race which can be 5 days long, where we wake up every day at like 4 in the morning and you go out there, ride 8 hours on the day, you know? I think that's quite hectic and has a bit of this rally race format what we have out there. For example, like Daniel Sanders and Luciani already maybe talking about this, and yeah, it's quite interesting, but it's a pretty cool sport. And if all of the viewers out there who have never watched it, definitely check it out on Red Bull TV, because it's a pretty cool vibe and a pretty cool paddock and like some good characters.
And does the extremity of the terrain denote how long it is? So if something is really, really hard, would that be only a 2-hour race? Or if it was like maybe a little bit less extreme, it would be longer, like you said, an 8-hour day? Or is it all just really hard?
Maybe all just really hard. I think it's different hard, you know? Like you can have a race which can be 8 hours long and is maybe hard, but because the track isn't too hard, but it's just long. Then you can have like a 2 hours race, which can be so difficult to ride, and you really have to push your bike. You have to like really fight like for every little centimeters that you like move forward. And it can be also like super difficult and super hard on your body. But I think that what sometimes hard enduro is also about, you know, like it's already in the discipline's name. Like it's not only enduro, it's like hard enduro, and that's why I think every kind of riding situation can makes it hard, and it's never easy to compete and to ride it.
So let's talk about how it's judged. Is it a case of first man who makes it over the line wins, or how is it judged?
Most of the time like this way. So we have like starts, like we take Red Bull Earth Radio, it's like 500 people on the start line, and the flag drops and they're all out, and first guy who's in the finish wins the day, or like wins the race. But then we have this rally formats where we are more basically having like the fastest time every day. So you could start 10th, finishing 5th, but still be the fastest guy on the day, and you can win the day. So it's a bit of different formats out there, but more or less the fastest guy or the first guy in the finish, like in every race, is the fastest fastest rider of the day, and the fastest rider of the day for sure wins the race as well. So it's more or less in every other sport, you know, you can be the fastest guy or like the fastest racer, and you win your competition, and it's quite nice to have those formats.
Yeah, it's so different to drifting. I mean, that's a completely judged sport where it's speed, style, line and angle, and it's just so different. It's down to a judge saying whether they liked how you did something, whereas this, it's purely a case of if you can make it to the end,
yeah,
then you deserve your trophy.
Then you deserve your trophy. And like sometimes I'm getting a bit like, I'm watching some drifting, for example, and I'm like, oh, that looks sick, you know, like that looks really sick. And then you see like the competitions, and you're like, I have no idea how they end up with this result, but probably he wins because you like made the sickest style and probably the best speed. But it's quite interesting to see it from the outside, you know. I think for me as like a core racer, to have like this kind of different race form, or like race formats more or less, who there's like other disciplines or like other things where really decide who's going to be the winner of the day. I think it's super cool to see. Same thing with like freestyle motocross, like it's same thing, speed, style, and like I'm not sure swag or something like this. Basically, but it's pretty interesting, and at the end, the judges gonna make a pretty good job with this.
It's not like other disciplines in motorsport where you have to have a license or you have to have completed X amount of other races before you can compete at this level. I could literally rock up with my bike and give it a go, right?
Definitely. Like if you're keen and if you're excited enough to like sign up maybe for Rapid Earthsbrigadier, for example, it could be super easy, you know. Like I think that's why our sport is so accessible also for everybody, because we for sure race like world championship races, but we also have like these amateur classes at some races, and at Earthsburg, like more or less everybody can show up and say, hey man, I saw this crazy race, I'm gonna sign up and gonna give it a go. And it's pretty cool to say this, because there's not a lot of motorsport sports out there who can really do this.
So if I got a Notion one Saturday afternoon, you could end up seeing me on a hard enduro course. Yeah,
sure. Just open up a Red Bull, maybe thinking about it. Could be a really nice thought to do Red Bull Earthsbrigadier next year. You never know, maybe we're gonna see Becky Evans ripping around on Red Bull Earthsbrigadier.
So we're talking about the vehicles. Let's talk about your current competition bike. It's the KTM 300 EXC. It's a two-stroke 300cc, and you describe it as, a light bike. It's aggressive, it's snappy, it's soft, way more than a four-stroke, for example. So for you guys out there, you're actually riding a two-stroke. What does that mean for the listeners who have never ridden a bike?
I think for the listeners who've never ridden a bike, so it's like in motorsport, two-wheel side, there's like this four-strokes engine and this two-strokes engine, which is already probably the biggest differences. And like a two-stroke bike is, like I already explained it, like you said, is a bit more like this lighter feeling, is a bit like aggressive, so it's also a bit more difficult to ride, but then also for us, because we're riding so technical stuff, it gives us like this good feeling about riding, because we need sometimes like this aggressive like clutch moment on like gas control to like really make up like a 2-meter step, to really jump up there, and like having like this snappy feeling on it, which is super nice. And I think I wouldn't say that it's like a tractor, but it has like this dragging feeling a bit more than like a two-stroke, so it's a bit easier to ride. And for us, this just light feeling, it's super important, because you're out there working really hard through just to get to the finish. So it's like your main competitor is already also the track. So I think that's a difference compared to like a MotoGP guy or like a motocross guy. So we really fight already the track, and then we have to fight the competitors as well. And then it's nice to don't have like a heavy bike or like a heavy feeling bike. So that's why most of the guys and myself are on a two-stroke, and I hope we can ride a two-stroke for many more years.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, obviously, when you're riding enduro, there's a lot of sort of getting on and off the bike, and being able to pick it up as well.
Yeah.
And I know from riding 4-stroke, they're really quite heavy. So if you're doing a longer course, the 2-stroke is definitely a lot easier to pick up and just keep riding on, so you don't use up all of that energy reserves. I was about to ask you, can you describe the look, the sound, the smell, the feel of the bike, and obviously the suspension there, that is such a core component of the feel of the bike.
I think a chainsaw exactly sounds like a 2-stroke KTM. It's like, you just like start it, it's just like, bam, 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 bam. It's like quite noisy bike, but like quite high revs as well, which is pretty cool. But our bikes are quite soft, like I said, so suspension is pretty soft, but then also one of the main components, which is super important, is as well tires, which are super soft, and we ride with like a mousse gummy, which is more or less just like a bit of foam inside the tire, so we don't use air, so we can't get any puncture. So if you're out there on the rocks, which are super gnarly and like super sharp, we never can't get a flat. So that's super important for racing. That's why we use like a mousse, just to save it of that, and we can really go soft with it. So it's like sometimes people push my tire and you almost can push it onto the rim because it's that soft.
I didn't know that. I didn't realise, because I did think to myself sometimes, I was like, surely people get punctures, but you just completely answered my question there. Thank you. How do you think that your tastes and your need for what the bike can do for you has evolved over time? Has hard enduro got harder?
Definitely got way harder. Like, if I'm thinking now, all the technical parts on my bike, all the tires, all the suspension, there's so many parts which are developed now, let's say the last 15 years. When I came to the races in like 2006, for example, I was 8 at this point, and I just came to the race and watched my dad, and they went more or less on a motocross tire. So for the listeners out there, like a motocross tire is like a super hard, compact tire, and it doesn't really like stick to the ground that much. It's digging a lot, so it's like good for gravel and like dirt. But if you go over rocks and like obstacles, it just doesn't like move at all. So I think it's now, if you see from like 2006 or like before 2010 to like right now, it's such a big difference. And I think that's why also the sport got way hard, and every organizer right now wants to have like the hardest race as well. And I think sometimes we as riders have to more or less stop the organizers to don't make it too difficult, because we are right now in this position and at the moment where some things are just getting out of control, and then we almost can't make it up the hill because it's too difficult. I think like this year in like bunch of races we had this feeling, and it was just gnarly and nuts. Like I questioned myself one time, like in an uphill, and we started, and I was like half an hour into the uphill, like just going up the hill, guys, like just zigzagging my way up like a little goat path, like really going up the mountain. And I was like, when is the finish coming, or like when is the end of this hill? And he's like, oh man, you're not even halfway through. And I'm like, how is this possible? But that's hard enduro, I would say.
Like you say, the trails are getting harder, like the sport itself is evolving. Like, are you having to refine your bike to keep up with the demands?
Definitely, we have to refine our bikes. Like our bikes right now is one of the most important things as well. If the bike setup is not on point, you can't be there and win a race. Like everything has to work. For sure, I think a lot of people out there who are thinking motorsport is like, okay, you like sit in something and or like you go on a bike and the bike is doing more or less a job. But guys, I can tell you for sure still the body is doing most of it. Like it's a really demanding sport. Now, because the sport is so professional, that you really have to know that your body is fit, but then also your bike have to be spot on. And that's why the bike setup has to be really on a high level, and there's no time for any mistakes.
Let me tell you, Manny, I have never sweat like I sweat on an enduro bike. It is insane. You're constantly trying to balance it. You're using all of your weight off the side of the bike. You're picking it up, push it. It's a full body workout. It's a complete man and machine situation there.
Yeah, but you get used to it, you know. It's like with everything, you know. If you're like a runner out there, or like even like a drift car driver, like you, for example, you know, like you get used to like having all of this like shifting gears and like brake, and I think like for myself it will be pretty difficult.
Dude, no, it's the physical endurance of enduro. Trust me, I'm way less under pressure in a drift car than I am on an enduro.
Yeah, that's true, probably.
So let's talk about risk and reward. What has been one of the most scariest trails that you've come across or attempted on your bike?
Ooh, scariest trails. That's good. I think we have like... I've done one race in this Sultan, like this little kingdom. And you are riding in the middle of nowhere. Like really, you're by your own, you're starting by your own, and you're like up in the mountains, and there's nothing. Like it's such a, at the end it's like a cool feeling as well, but you also, okay, I don't want to get injured there. Like I really don't want to hurt myself there, because at the end you like maybe end up, maybe some local guys find me and they bring me to the helicopter or whatever, you know. But it's sometimes pretty scary if you have like this feeling of not knowing where you are, because you're in the middle of nowhere on the world.
Which brings me nicely to my next question.